Now, non-primary jobs are primary restaurants, retail centers, things like that. Now, that's not to say there's anything wrong with those jobs. I'm not saying that. They just don't do the same thing that primary jobs do. Now, you take, for example, you say, well, gosh, McDonald's sells sausage biscuits just like Owens does. You're right, but the sausage biscuits they sell, 99% of them are consumed by people in Hopkins County or shortly they're around there. That's not to say, of course, somebody couldn't be leaving Memphis, going to Dallas, and stop and got a sandwich. Okay, I'm not saying that. But for the most part, the money that they bring in is just here. And what that means is the money that's already in that pie is sitting there circulating. All right. Now, if we were to go out and let's pick on dry cleaners. If we were to go out and get a new dry cleaner to come to town, we right now I think we have 2. So that means in a perfect world, each one of them is getting 50% of the dry cleaning. Well, if we brought another one in, that would mean they would each get a third, right? So that would mean that the dry cleaners that were here in town right now would lose business if we did that. Because a lot of people ask us, why don't you recruit retail? Why aren't you involved in retail? That's why. Because when you bring retailers in and you haven't increased the size of the pie, you cut the money that's going to the ones that are already here. And we don't want to hurt the businesses that are already here. Now, when you go out and you get new jobs at Ocean Spray or new jobs at Morningstar or new jobs in one of these companies that's producing primary employment and that pie gets bigger, guess what? Suddenly we got more dirty clothes. We got more people with a slice of the pie that's paying for dirty clothes, and the retailers grow. And at some point, we'll get enough dirty clothes that a third dry cleaner can come in here. But that's their decision, not ours. So that's why when you ask us, why do we not do retail? It's because if we did something with retail, it would actually hurt the businesses that are already here. Now, how do we do economic development? You know, smoke and mirrors, right? Yeah. No. Smoke and beer, you know, first thing we do is business retention. You might call that working with your existing customers. Because the best thing that we've got going for us are the companies that are already here. If we can do something to help them grow or expand, then that's new money coming in, growing our pie. Now, first of all, it's the cheapest way to grow the pie. But secondly, there's almost a fairness issue there. These companies have been here, they've paid taxes, they've done all the things that they're supposed to be doing here. It's only fair that we do it. And a lot of people also, though, think that companies, they're here, so they're going to expand. Well, that's really not true. Not in today's world. These plant managers actually compete, their plants compete with other plants within their company for that new line of product, that new piece of equipment, that new expansion, whatever. Because they're always looking for quicker, better, faster. Smarter, quicker, better, faster. Because the more effective and more efficient they are at running that plant, that means the better the company overall likes them. So when you do things to help them, those existing companies, then that's the company that's going to get the expansion. That's the company that's going to stay open when, like, there's a downturn. You know, our Geldwin plant here stayed open. The Geldwin plant in Corsicana closed. Might not be a good example, but that's one to think about. We just helped them get an expansion to do the fiberglass operation. So what I'm saying is, a lot of times people look at existing industries and just think they automatically happen, and it really doesn't. Now, we also try to create the right environment here. So we're always looking at tax incentives and our tax rates and things like that, see how competitive we're being with the others around us. Workforce development. When a company is trying to locate, one of the key things they look at is the workforce. Can it make the widget I'm wanting it to make? All right? And when we do workforce development, say in an existing company, and we help them learn how to run a computer lathe, okay? Then when a company comes in who's looking for those kind of, we say, sure, here's companies doing that. Or robotics is the big thing now. Robots are going to come in here, and while we think, oh, they'll cut down on the number of jobs, the flip side of that is those robots, the people that fix robots, make a whole lot more money than the people that did the work that the robots are now doing. Okay? So you train those people that were the robots to fix the robots. You see? So that's what we're talking about when we're in workforce development. That's one of the reasons I take time to go over and be on that board for this 9-region area, is because how important that is. And then, of course, we've got the properties out there that we try to keep looking well, fixed up, putting the best foot forward that we can, so that when a company comes in, they can see their plant setting on that piece of property. Now, we do typical marketing things just like you would do in your business. You know, we go to trade shows. We make cold calls. We do, you know, we work very closely with consultants, because in today's world, a lot of these companies are using consultants to help them shorten the list, because the first phase of any site selection process is actually site elimination. How can we take the 500 that we got and whittle it down to 10? And that's where consultants come in. Advertising, we do that, but we don't do a whole lot of it. I'll be just real honest with you. Because what we do, it's really high touch, you know, personal work with companies. Now, you think, well, why is that? Why can't you just put an ad in the paper and say, we got, you know, free land? Well, one of the problems is everybody's got free land, okay? They used to tell us, quit giving us ads that show little, you know, pretty kids sliding into second base. Every community's got a cute kid sliding into second base, okay? So what we're looking for, we have to really spend a lot of time with these people. And the way I look at it, or one of the ways I try to relate it, is in your personal life, back to that personal economy you have. When you're going to make the biggest investment you're going to make is going to be buying a home. Well, you're going to spend months, in my case it was 3 years, finding that perfect house. And you're going to say, do I want a metal roof? Do I want a composition roof? Do I want to live in the country? Do I want to live in town? Do I want 2 stories, 1 story, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms? You know, you're asking yourself all these questions about what you want, and you're going to spend $100,000 to $200,000. Now, if you were going to spend $30 million, how many questions would you ask? If you're making that decision and you make the wrong one, you buy a 2-story house, and after a year you say, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life walking up the stairs to go to the bedroom. So what do? You sell that house and go buy another one. And hopefully not lose any money in the process. If you make the wrong decision when you're locating the plant there, the company goes broke, or maybe you get fired. So the downside is much worse for these guys making this. And a lot of these guys will make this decision one time in their career. They'll work for a company for 30 years and they'll make this decision one time. So they want to make sure they do it right. So it is not unusual for us to talk to a company for 2 years. Okay? I mean, I've talked to them for longer than that, but 2 years is a good number for these sites. So, do we do a lot of advertising? No, we don't, because it's not the kind of work that we spend a lot of time doing.